Alright, hi everybody, and welcome to the RFK Library here at the University of Guam, and welcome to a very special reveal here with the University of Guam Sea Grant. My name is Ben, and today we are going to be explaining a little bit more about what goes into our research, funding grants and opportunities here with the University of Guam Sea Grant program, along with revealing to you some of the researchers who are going to be in the field working on some huge stuff over the course of the next few years. I want to say thank you so much to everybody watching online. We are streaming on YouTube with our University of Guam Sea Grant page, and of course to everyone joining us here in person. Right now, I'd like to introduce someone who is leading the way, not only with research, but our entire university. Ladies and gentlemen, our acting president, please welcome Dr. Charlene Santos-Bamba.
Thank you, Kyle. What is the half a day, everyone? All right. You know, it's been Dr. Shelton here just me. How's the week going? It's been busy. It's nice to see the campus full again of life, with students and faculty returning to our campus. And we've got some good news for people today, and we want to be able to share that. And so I want to begin by saying on behalf of President Enriquez, thank you for hosting this event and this reveal. Always very dramatic, Sea Grant, and we really appreciate it. But it is with great pleasure to gather with you today to announce the research projects that will be funded by the UOG Sea Grant. This is a significant milestone for our university and a testament to the dedication and expertise of our faculty and researchers, along with all those around Micronesia. The Sea Grant program is a vital component of our mission at the University of Guam. It supports research, education, and outreach that address the critical challenges facing our island and our region. From climate change and coastal resilience to sustainable fisheries and marine conservation. The work funded by this grant will have a profound impact on our region. That's significant, and profound means the implications are that it will be transformative. I am particularly excited about the innovative and interdisciplinary nature of the projects selected for funding. These projects will represent the best of our university's research capabilities and demonstrate our commitment to finding solutions to the complex problems facing our island home. I want to extend my sincere gratitude to the Sea Grant program for your continued support of our research endeavors. Your engagement contributes to UOG's success. To the faculty and researchers whose projects have been selected, congratulations and viva, as we like to say in UOG. Your hard work and dedication have paid off. I am confident that your research will make a significant contribution to our understanding of the marine environment and inform the development of effective practices and policies. I encourage everyone here today to learn more about the exciting projects and to support the researchers in their work. Together, we can build a brighter future for Guam and the region. It's not just researchers, it's students, it's administrators, it's staff, it's the people behind the scenes and the leaders who make all of this possible. And the University of Guam is super proud to host such projects and to be able to fund such projects. And so, huge thanks to Sea Grant and the muscle behind making things happen. This is a major flex, I think, for the CIS Sea Grant, and we're super proud to be a part of it. Si Dios Masi, Viva Sea Grant, and Viva UOG.
Viva! Wow, what a way to start us off again with such energy and such dedication and such excitement for what's to come, not just today, but through the rest of this research period, here to tell us a little bit more about the Sea Grant program and the ways that we get into this whole process. I'd like to welcome now the director of the University of Guam Center for Island Sustainability and Sea Grant, Dr. Austin Shelton.
Good morning, everybody. You know, just a few years ago, our Sea Grant program was quite a bit smaller. There was a history of over 20 years of having some Sea Grant funding and programming at the University of Guam to do small projects here and there in extension and outreach and a little bit of research. But just 2 years ago now, in 2022, we took a major step and graduated to become a Sea Grant Institute. And so that means that the University of Guam is both a land grant and Sea Grant institution because of the great team that we have here and all the incredible work that they did. And we passed this whole comprehensive external review, and that has brought us to level up big time. This big new flex, as Dr. Charmaine Santos-Bamba had shared, that we are doing new big things. And this is one of them today that we get to share, that we are able to distribute money out into the research community to better understand the unique environment, the unique ecosystem that we have here on the island and the region. And what's really cool about that is that Guam has the most diverse coral reefs in the United States. We're just adjacent to the Marianas Trench, the deepest spot in the world. And there's so much to be discovered and so much to be better understood. And the great thing is that we now have funding to support the incredible researchers that we have here at the University of Guam and at the regional colleges and nonprofits around us to help answer more of these questions so that we can make better decisions as an island people to protect these natural resources all around us. So I would like to thank and congratulate our researchers who will be presented here in a little bit for applying for this funding. It's a competitive process, and it takes a lot of work to carry out these, being part of this research enterprise to get this information out to our community. And I'd like to thank everybody who supports this effort, in particular the Guam legislature for committing the $500,000 in local funding to Sea Grant every year here at the University of Guam, because that allows us to more than double that funding immediately by getting $1.3 million in federal funds each year. And we leverage millions more in other different ways. But what's really important about the critical matching funds is that it allows this first $1.3 million to come in each year. And then we are required as a program to compete that out as research dollars. So it goes out into the community and then it gets this high level, important scientific information distributed to everybody, as I mentioned, to make better decisions and better management and better conservation of all of our resources. So that's what we're doing as a program today with this funding, and there's so much more to come. This is just one small piece of what the University of Guam Sea Grant is able to do with our competitive research program, but I encourage you to learn more on our social media and our website at uog.edu/Sea Grant. Learn about our Sea Grant turtle researchers, about our fisheries researchers, about the watershed program called the GROW Initiative, Guam Restoration of Watersheds, and our capacity building efforts, where we are now supporting dozens and dozens of students to get these research experiences and build more local scientists for our community. So with that, we're looking forward to the reveal and hearing more about our researchers. Viva UOG and Viva Sea Grant! Viva!
All right, now these researchers here did not get here because they woke up early this morning. No, it has been a very vigorous process, and it has been a very, very in-depth, I want to say steps, multiple step situation. Here to explain a little bit more about that, I'd like to welcome from our University of Guam Sea Grant program, Dr. Brent Taylor.
I don't want to mirror too much of what's been said before me, but what's really special about this program is this is a competitive process. And on top of that, these are federal funds. They're not local funds. They're federal funds, but they're locally managed. And to me, as a researcher in my career, that's something very special to me. because I always reserve the right to be wrong about this, but I don't think there's been anything in terms of on Guam, locally managed, where we've had this level of funding to have a competitive process for the research, where we involve in the peer review process stakeholders from our region. So much of the research funds that comes to Guam or to our region is done outside of, the peer review process happens outside of Guam. And so that's what's important here. We do have peer reviewers from outside of our region. We have expert panelists and things, but that's decided upon here in Guam. And so to reiterate, this is a really special thing. It's $350,000 a year now we have to allocate towards research funding through a competitive process again, but goes through 2 rounds of peer review. And so we're here really to reveal some of the research that we're seeing and to celebrate them, but I do want to make a pitch. This is a program we'll be running for now about every 2 years is our plan. We can modify that as we see the need to adjust. But basically every 2 years we'll be running a research competition. And so we'll be having another one be announced probably early next year. So keep that in to anybody interested, anybody in the research field, anybody who contributes towards natural resource management, please keep that in mind, because this is a really amazing program that we have that is locally managed, and goes through a really critical process here. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's get on now to meet some of our researchers who will be telling us a little bit about what they've got in store, what they've got planned for the research that they'll be doing. Up first, I'd like to welcome an individual who is very, 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 very cool. All right, this guy here is cool. I know you didn't expect me to say that, but I'm going to. You can ask any of the students, many of which he has mentored all the way through graduation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Bashkin Benmake.
Half a day, and thank you for having me here for this reveal. And I just wanted to give you a quick overview of actually the research we'll be doing with the sea grant funds that we were awarded. Since I got here about 8 years ago, we've been doing a lot of work in Fuha Bay that you might be familiar with. And if you think about our southern bays, every time it rains, there's a lot of sedimentation, a lot of sediment that washes out into these bays. You can see the brown mucky water, and that smothers our coral reefs. And Austin really inspired me actually to start looking into these systems, given his work on watershed restoration. We've been looking at various aspects of how this impacts corals and their health. And one aspect was the bacterial community that lives with corals. And what we noticed is that there are specific bacteria that seem to be showing up in these corals during the wet season when sedimentation is high. And some of those bacteria look like they might be coming from the terrestrial ecosystem, so from the watershed, from the barren badlands where you don't have any vegetation anymore. And so for sea grant, I sort of like stepped out of my box, and I'm kind of becoming a little bit of a soil scientist, I guess. We pitched the idea that, hey, we want to actually map out the distribution of bacteria throughout the watershed, throughout the different plant communities and the badlands, to actually figure out where are those bacteria coming from, are the reservoirs of potentially harmful bacteria that may impact different habitats across the watershed, including the coral reefs. And then take that information and bring it back to essentially our stakeholders, right? And I'm thinking maybe the growth initiatives, those people who are working actually on restoration, to add to the piece of the puzzle and add some information about the type of bio community that lives in the soils that may inform the other work that's going on, the restoration work. Because ultimately, right, the ridge is connected to the reef. Those are not separate ecosystems, they're all connected, and we're sort of starting to branch out and work across ecosystems in an interdisciplinary way. Thank you. That's all I really have to say about the problem.
Thank you, sir.
Very cool.
Yes, we look forward to more coolness from that guy right there. You know what? We are talking amazing things, and this man who isn't able to make it with us today because he got called away into a very, very important thing. I'm not going to spoil that one, but stay tuned for more details. Our next researcher is Dr. Peter Hulk, also from the UOG Marine Laboratory, and his research is to study mitigating climate change impacts on Micronesia coral reefs. As we mentioned earlier on about the long stretch and the reach of these research grants And this is another excellent one from a true son of the Mariotas. Again, Dr. Peter Holt, we are so proud to announce as one of our researchers for this season. Our next researcher is here with us today, and if Bastion is cool, then this man is Guam's Kevin Bacon. Please welcome Dr. Tom Shills.
Thank you, Kyle. First of all, I'd like to thank Sea Grant for this unique opportunity. I think we can really, with this grant award, we can do some very, very exciting work. So, our project, actually it's a project that I wrote for students, so there's a student that's going to be involved into this project, focuses on coralline algae, and I'll define what they are, explain a little bit more what they are in a minute, and the carbon budget. So basically, will we be able to sustain our reefs as we know them today? So in the past decade, we've seen some dramatic changes on our coral reefs. We've had a series of coral mortality events which resulted in a decline of coral cover. Now, when spots open up on a reef, or when space opens up on a reef, other organisms come in and settle there. And one of these organisms are these coralline algae, literally algae that look like corals. So a lot of the name actually might mistake them even for corals. And they serve similar ecosystem roles. They also deposit calcium carbonate, so they actually make the reef grow. But typically, these organisms, because they're relatively difficult to study, they're ignored in kind of like ecological studies, but also studies of carbon budgets of reefs, so larger ecological processes on reefs. Now, through our previous work, we've already documented that Guam is a very, very special place. We have the highest documented diversity of coralline algae in the world, of any ecoregion in the world. And also, we've documented some interesting ecophysiological aspects. We've seen actually that these coralline algae grow faster than anywhere else in the world. So now, what we are interested in doing is kind of like seeing that coralline algae are becoming much, much more dominant. Corals are on the decline. We're actually interested in will our reefs be able to sustain? Are they still going to be there into the future, and will they be able to serve the same ecosystem roles as they have been, basically the biodiversity on reef, sustaining healthy fish populations, but also protecting our island. And yeah, for that matter, through this project, we'll be employing some new technologies like structured from motion photogrammetry, but we'll also be continuing some studies that are unique to Guam, basically our access to the reef, being able to conduct growth experiments on the reef, we'll be doing that also through this study, and then also continuing to document diversity of these communities through DNA barcoding. So yeah, once again, thanks a lot, and we're very excited.
All right, a discoverer himself, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Dr. Tom Shills, thank you, sir. Now, as I mentioned earlier on again, we've got representatives and researchers who will be conducting their research through the region. I'm going to turn the mic back over to Dr. Brett Taylor, who's going to tell us a little bit more about some of our researchers who are going to be operating in the oceans that surround us.
All right, thank you. One thing I did want to point out before, and I failed to, is the 4 focus areas of Sea Grant, which really plays into all of this funding. Those are healthy coastal ecosystems, environmental literacy and workforce development, sustainable fisheries and aquaculture, and resilient communities and economies. So all of this research falls under one or more of those focus areas. Let's see. So our next researcher is Heloise Rousset. So she is a faculty here at the University of Guam at the Marine Laboratory. Unable to be here today though. Her project is microsymbionts to support restoration of Acropora virgata in Guam's reefs. Now the objective to this project is basically leveraging ongoing coral restoration work that's been going on for almost a decade here now. And so it's going to be supporting this work basically using ecological engineering methods to enhance resilience and resistance to threatened coral species, namely the acroporas. These are the ones that we've seen have declined through the past decade at bleaching the most. And so they're going to be using ecological engineering, genome type things I don't understand at all. That's why we're giving them money to do it. The next researcher is Christina Caranosos from the Palau International Coral Reef Center. So her project is assessing the status of commercially important reef fish populations in Palau to inform fisheries management. And this is very much a lot of biological and ecological work. The objectives are to estimate key life history parameters for important reef fish species in Palau, and then to deliver the information and the recommendations back to the Koror state government and other management agencies and nonprofit organizations in Palau. And finally, we have Lori Paterka from the Friends of the Marianas Trench, and this is a group up in Saipan and CNMI. Their project is the Seascape of the CNMI. It's a study of intergenerational and culturally adaptive ocean literacy. Now, the objective in this project is really to facilitate the enhancement of ocean literacy through community programs in the CNMI. So this is the most different of all the programs, probably one of the more different ones that we've funded in the past as well, and an important one within the realm of ocean literacy and workforce development as well. So those are all of our researchers.
Thank you very much, Dr. Taylor. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, you see it before you, and we can't wait to see what's ahead of us. I'd like to one more time take this opportunity to recognize and to thank all of our amazing researchers for this season here at the University of Guam Center for Island Sustainability and Sea Grant. One more time, a round of applause, please. And as Dr. Shelton mentioned, we encourage you to follow us all over the place on social media, of course, Instagram, Facebook, X, and of course our website, that's uog.edu/seagrant, in order to stay updated with all the great work that our researchers have come in and all the great impacts that they'll make for the entire region. On behalf of everybody here at the University of Guam Sea Grant, again, thank you so much for joining us, and Viva UOG!